Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. O great sage, we are all eager to know the cause of this mercy of the Lord. The title of this chapter is The Supreme Lord is Equal to Everyone. O great sage, we are all eager to know the cause for this mercy of the Lord. I have heard that formerly a king named Vena blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that all the Brahmanas consequently obliged him to go to hell. Sisupal should also have been sent to hell. How then did he merge into the Lord's existence? Dhamagosha sutta papa arabhya kala bhasnat samprati amarshi govinde dandavakrascha durmatihi. From the very beginning of his childhood, when he could not even speak, this is Sisupal, he was a small baby. At that time even he could not pronounce Krishna's name also. He used to say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He was never like, please, like we devotees pray for Krishna, Hare Krishna. But Sisupala was saying Krishna, Krishna. He said, that's what he mentioned here. It's a critical way, in an envious way. The most sinful son of Dhamagos began blaspheming the Lord, and he continued to be envious of Sri Krishna until death. Similarly, his brother Dandavakra continued the same habits. Actually, Sisupal and Dandavakra are not ordinary beings. They are in the former age. They are actually the Jaya and Vijay from Vaikuntha. They performing a pastimes with the Lord, but internally, say that Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavatam, they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. It's a worship of our Lord, but because they have to act in such a way. So it says that the most sinful son of Dhamagos began blaspheming the Lord, and he continued to be envious Sri Krishna until death. Similarly, his brother Dandavakra continued the same habits. Sapator asakrita Vishnum yad Brahma paramabhayam switro na jato jivayam nandham vivisatustamaha. Although these two men, Sisupal and Dandavakra, repeatedly blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, Krishna, the Supreme Brahman, they were quite healthy indeed. Their tongues were not attacked by white leprosy, nor did they enter the darkest regions of hellish life. We are certainly most surprised by this. Okay, we go to this Bhagavad Gita sloka here, where it says that this is that in this one we can see there is a purport here. So it says that indeed their tongues, because they were criticizing, envious of Krishna, their tongues were not attacked by white leprosy, nor did they enter the darkest regions of hellish life. So if you blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the result is that you end up into the hell. So it's written here in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada gave the mentioned 16:19. Tam aham dvisata kururan samsera naradhan sipami ajasram asubhan asurips eva yonisho. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham cha samasritaha mam atma paradehesu pradvisanto abhyasuktaha. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. A demonic person, being always against God's supremacy, does not like to believe in the scriptures. he is envious of both the scriptures and the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This caused by his so-called prestige and his accumulation of wealth and strength. So, we read the purport. Krishna is described by Arjun in Bhagavad Gita 10:12 as follows: Para Brahman, Param Brahma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavam. You are the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Abode and Purifier. Herein this is confirmed. Vishnu Yad Brahma Param Abhayam. The Supreme Vishnu is Krishna. Krishna is the cause of Vishnu, not vice versa. Similarly, Brahman is not the cause of Krishna. Krishna is the cause of Brahman. Therefore, Krishna is the Para-Brahman, Yad Brahmam Param Abhayamam. So, here it says that Sisupal and Dandavakra, why Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question, and Narad Muni is explaining why he's constantly, repeatedly asking this question, that why Sisupal attained this, what was that mukti? Sayujya, merging into the body of the God, Lord. So, Krishna, you can see that, I was saying that, that Sisupal and, we read this. Sisupal and Dandavakra were formerly Jai and Vijay, the doorkeepers of Vaikuntha. When the four Kumaras wanted to see the Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, they tried to stop them. Jai and Vijay. Stop them by not aware of their exalted position. And in this case, they were cursed by the Kumaras. So, I wrote this one here. In Satyuga, same Jai and Vijay became what? Yeah, Hiranyakashipu. And in Treta Yuga, Ravan and Kumbhakaran. Devouring enemies. And in Dwapar, end of Dwapar, it's Sisupal and Dandavakra. So, Sisupal, the answer is to this. Why they merge into Krishna's body. Sisupal's achievement of oneness, Sahiju Mukti, was different because Jai and Vijay from the very beginning of their material existence were ordained to treat the Supreme Lord as an enemy for 3 lives. They were ordained by the Lord. It was sanction of the God, Lord. And 3 lives, and then return home back to Godhead. Jai and Vijay inwardly, inside, knew that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they purposely become his enemies to deliver from material life. From very beginning, they thought of Krishna as an enemy. Even though blaspheming Lord Krishna, they chanted the holy name of Krishna constantly, along with their inimical thoughts. Thus they were purified because of chanting the holy name of Krishna. Sisupal and Dandavakra remained merged for some time. So that means indirectly they were actually chanting holy name. They were envious, but still Krishna was in front of them. But Prabhupada mentions that, he gave a statement that actually Sisupal and Dandavakra are naturally they are Jai Vijay, but they are no ordinary person. Because they are seeing Krishna's pastimes in front, and they are in front of Krishna. We don't see Krishna. But although they were envious, his enemy, but at one point when Sisupal, as soon as he appeared in front of Krishna, he was admired by his beauty in a subtle way. And also, Prabhupada gave example of Agasur. Everyone knows the story about Agasur. Agasur is a 12-mile long python. So he just, while cowherds and the Krishna and with his cowherd friends, he was going in the morning to in the pasturing ground with the calves, and the demon Agasur came and lying in Vrindavan on the pathway. So the cowherd boys and Krishna had pastimes playing outside with the cows and grazing the cows. So at one point, they saw a big, huge, gigantic demon open his mouth. His lip, hair, his mouth was touching the sky. So the cowhead boys thought that, oh, this is the nice place to play. So they went closer, and Krishna from distance, he can see that the cowhead friends are in danger. So what Krishna tried to stop them, and he tried to also, he thought that, he knew that this is a demon came in the form of python to kill all of us. But the cowheads were unaware of this, the boys. So Krishna knew that as soon as he tried to stop the cowhead boys, so one of the cowhead boys from said, he shouted at everyone, and he said that, let's see what is inside the inside there, and it's a very nice place to play. So it says that Prabhupada mentioned that all the cowheads and the cows, they entered together in the mouth of Aghasur, and later Krishna saw that he also entered inside the mouth of Aghasur. And at that point, as soon as Krishna, actually Aghasur was waiting Krishna to enter in his mouth so he can kill all of them. So as soon as Krishna entered inside Aghasur, what he did? He closed his mouth. He closed his mouth, and inside it was dark. And it mentions that, because he have eaten so many dead bodies, so inside it was very bad smell. So that, because he says, in the Krishna book is said, is a fishy smell. Smell. So at that point, all the cowheads and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that many acharyas mentions that the cowheads and the cows were dead, and some acharyas says they were unconscious. So Krishna, through their glance, he bring them to life. And when Krishna was inside, Aghasur led Krishna inside his body. So Krishna started expanding inside Aghasur's body. As soon as Krishna was expanding inside the Aghasur's body, the Aghasur's life air came, he burst, dead. And the life air came from top of the Aghasur. And that light, that life, Aghasur's life, waited outside in the sky, in the air. It was dazzling light, says Prabhupada mentions, is full of light. So as soon as Krishna came out from Aghasur's mouth, the light, which was, actually when they say the soul comes out, it never produces that kind of light. It just comes out small, but just like blazing light. So the light entered into Krishna's body. And then why Acharyas mentioned why Krishna made this soul full of light, so that the soul, that Aghasur get the Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya, not Sahyajya Mukti, Sarupya, a same form as a God in Vaikuntha, four-arm form. So Aghasur got the Sarupya Mukti, Sisupal got the Sahyajya Mukti. But Sisupal and Dandavakra were merged inside the body of Krishna, but for a while, but later they got the body of Vaikuntha and the four-armed forms later. They remain in his body for a while, they merged, and then later go to the first time. So this is the way many demons came in Krishna's pastimes, and they performed pastimes with Krishna in an envious way, but indirectly they chanted the holy name. It is says in the scripture that Prabhupada mentions here that the main point is that although you chant Krishna's name favorably, whether in a good consciousness or unfavorably, envious way, but you are chanting the holy name. So Krishna is equal to everyone. That's what he says, that Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. He helps everyone, all the living entities. He favors everyone. So although you are envious of Krishna, sometimes devotees, when they go to Harinam, perform Harinam, or they do book distribution, Sankirtan. So if you meet many, just like just end of the Sankirtan, I was, the last day I went in Cambridge, there was one person came, and as soon as he was speaking to one young devotee who went with us, and he was just new devotee, he was learning how to do Sankirtan, and this guy came, and I think he said he'd been to India, and he started blaspheming Krishna. He says, that black boy, you saying that black boy Krishna, I condemn him. And he was saying so many things. And then I was not there. I took a break. I went to actually library and Water Stones to a little bit. I was reading there. It was freezing cold. So I took a break. I went to the Water Stones. I always usually go to religious department book. I read there. And when I came there, he was having a intense argument with this, and he was like almost physically towards these young boys. 2 young boys went with me, and it was very dangerous. Young, Marky and another one, devotee. And I was thinking that what kind of aggressive person is he? So I started speaking to him. He was also aggressive on me. He was very angry on me. Then he said at one point that I talked to him. I says, "You are a nice person." He says, "I'm a Christian." "Yes, of course I'm a Christian." And he says, "Then why, if you're a real Christian, you never, disturb other people who are distributing these books and everything." So he could not understand. He was really arguing. He was constantly criticizing Krishna. He was criticizing Vishnu and all of them. So I says, "Okay, thank you very much. You're a good person." Still, I said at last. And then he never let us go. It's like he was keep following us. At last he says that tonight I will pray for all of you, that you forget about that black man. He was saying Krishna. So he was constantly saying that black person, that Krishna, who got so many decorations on his face, he thinks he's a god, but he's not a god. And he was constantly praising Krishna. So the devotees who perform the serving Prabhupada in the form of book distribution and Harinam, they got a lot of mercy, and also they experience all these things. And we get more purified because people criticize Krishna, and also you can see how they react as soon as you meet them. They really don't like these things, I mean, at the present time, the world is like that. People they say in ancient time, people used to go more to the church, to the temples to worship God. But now these days people worship their own body by going to gym, swimming pool, or doing some exercise, or running around. Young people in America, old people in America now, old husband and wife, they're riding a bike, wearing small clothes, and so what are they doing apart from worshipping the Supreme Lord in the church or in the temple? They're worshipping their own body, exercising. So actually they're worshipping the human beings themselves. This is what's happening. This is the existence of God now. They forget about God, Christ. They forget about Krishna. So as soon as you stop them or ask them about the God, I don't want to hear anything about God. There was one lady she was dying in the hospital, and my wife was telling that she was saying that, who is my God? My God is the earth. She was okay. It's not like, let's say something, Dharti Mata, right? But she says, she was there, and says, because my God is the earth, because if I die, I'll be gone there. So it's like, she was speaking philosophy, kind of that, the earth, water, fire, ether, where it mixes, her body mixes into that. But she was thinking, this is my God. And they said, another lady was dying. She said that at last, she was saying that, my God is a cat, because I had a very dear pet cat. She gave me everything. She was always with me at end of my life. And they said that cat, the family of that lady brought the cat in the hospital next to her before she left the body. So what is her destination now? It is now. So these are the things actually it mentions here, that indirectly Shishupal and Dandavakra, Yudhishthira Maharaj is constantly asking this question, that why that these people were so envious of Krishna, how come they got this liberation of merging into the body of Krishna? But because they were no ordinary persons, they were in front of Krishna, so they were elevated souls. So you can see how many opponents are there when devotees go out and preach preach, they become envious. Sometimes they say, you Hare Krishnas, Hare Krishna. As soon as they say, excuse me, we are Hare Krishna monks, then they really make their face and all these things. But then they say that, oh, you Hare Krishnas, do different way. So, although they are not unfavorable, at least they see and they say something bad about the books, but they're chanting the holy name of Krishna. So this is the way Sisupal and them, they got the, Prabhupada is mentioning here that they got the liberation. Hare Krishna. Sorry, we don't have time for Sankirtan class. Sankirtan class is separate thing. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai.